Don't get mad at me. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yesterday, I got a phone call from my children's school, the ones that are in California. I got a phone call from the nurse's office, and they said, hi, we have blah 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 in the office, and he's having really bad asthma right now, and the inhaler that he uses isn't working, so we need somebody to come pick him up immediately. And then I tell them, well, I am literally, they're not in my custody right now. I told them they're currently with their father, like living with their father. And she said, yeah, well, we keep calling the father and the father does not answer. She also felt the need to tell me that it's difficult to get a hold of him, and that he doesn't normally return their phone calls. But what am I going to do? I'm all the way over here. So I don't even bother trying to call my ex because I already know that I'm not going to get an answer. I text my mom, and I already had told the nurse that she should call my mom because she was also on the contact list, like emergency contact list or whatever. You know, she could check him out if she needed to. So they're like, okay, we'll do that. And I also like text her. But then my mom calls me and she says that she can't do it. She talked to the nurse. She called the dad, and then he actually called her back. So I did the get ready with me, and as I'm like editing, I see that there's no footage in between the first get ready with me clips and the last. No idea what happened, but so he had called my mom back. So I guess the dad was gonna have his wife, his now wife, go and pick him up from the school. But she doesn't have a license, she doesn't have a car, so she'd be walking. That's not what the office wanted, that's not what the nurses wanted. They needed somebody to come pick him up and take him to the doctor because he was having a really hard time, and he was like getting dizzy every now and then, and he probably was freaking out a lot, honestly, because we've kind of went through this one time before. And the nurses were like, they seemed really frustrated. Even when I talked to them in the beginning, they seemed really frustrated. They also were thinking about calling an ambulance if he wasn't picked up like in time, or if his symptoms got worse. And the dad was working but not in town. It's really, really, really frustrating because his wife just sits at home and doesn't do anything. So my mom says that she's gonna call the office back and see like what's the update. She's on the phone with them, and I finally text the dad because he's finally like in the loop, you know, like he's talking with the office. He talked to my mom, he knows what's going on. And I said, did you get him? I didn't know he was working out of town at this time, but he was annoyed. He had talked to the office and he was just like, they don't know what they're talking about. The people that I talked to said that he's fine. Which, that's crazy because just literally that's not what happened. You know, like they were concerned, they wanted him to be picked up, and he tells me that his wife was going, but then like tells me, well, actually I have to go, I have to be there. Like, yeah, I know. But like the sad thing is that it was going to take him over an hour, or like an hour, to even pick him up. That was annoying. If only the person he was with can just get their license and play their role, you know, be a fucking stepmom. And then there wouldn't have really been any issues. So my mom calls me back after she gets off the phone with the office again. It seems like they are having a bit of an issue with the father as far as like not taking care of things that he needs to take care of regarding his children. Like I said, like when I was on the phone with them, she just seemed annoyed and bothered because of the father. I guess the nurses in the office were telling my mom. Also, our daughter, who's also at the school, has like some hearing problem in one of her ears. And this I've brought up to him because so many times we've FaceTimed. I realized, like, why is she saying I can't hear? Like, what did you say? I can't hear you. And I've asked him to take her to the doctor. I've mentioned this to him, I've brought it up to him, and it's something that's been going on for a while. This was a while ago. The nurses also, they know that there's a problem, and they had mentioned it to him. And then they get on him again about it, and they even went to his house. I think I mentioned that in the video. Why does this girl want Teta so much? And what's so great about Teta? On top of that, her eyesight is pretty bad. I guess it's getting worse because they had mentioned that her prescription that she has is not the right one, and that her glasses are broken and all taped up. But they said that they were trying to get this all sorted out around February. My son has asthma, and whatever school he's at, he needs an inhaler there. And they also said that doing that was really difficult and took a while. But like, why? And it's not because they didn't have, you know, insurance. I can only think that it's just not priority. And if he's the only one that can do anything for the kids, as far as doctor's office appointments and shit like that, you know, driving to get shit, obviously, he's basically like an only parent. There's nothing I can do, but I'm so angry. So the fact that, like, they've been trying to get him to do shit since, like, February is really sad. He shouldn't have excuses, because so many times when I would talk to the kids on FaceTime, they're all of them, they're all playing video games. Some people never change. Video games are very important. I couldn't get him to care about us more than video games when I was with him. And also, apparently, they even went to his house to address their concerns or whatever they did. And he didn't like that. So I'm very angry and sad. I feel really bad. But you fucking, like, really shouldn't be with someone who can't help take care of your kids, especially if you have them as a fucking babysitter. It's so stupid. You're working, they're there, like. And of course I say something to him because I'm so mad and I just don't get it. I really, like, I don't understand. I would never be with someone and have them watch my kids. Come like a situation where they need to be taken somewhere, or like, my kid has a doctor appointment, can you take them to it? My favorite thing that he says to me when he's mad at me and trying to, like, say, like, F you, telling me how much better he is at taking care of them because he has money and I don't. Because I don't know why he even thinks that he can say anything, especially his situation right now. But, like, it's funny because he's literally the one who went like this, took my income from me, deliberately took my income from me and my kids, but then loves to throw it in my face. If I ever had as much money as he's had, I would never be in the position he's in, while calling myself the better parent. So he was taken to the doctor. I don't know if he got a new inhaler or what. I can't believe him, like, sleeping with you-know-who wasn't the last straw. I mean, it kind of was for a little bit of time. But I think mostly, like, the ignoring and neglect, that was just too much. That was the last straw. I bet you she feels ignored. Gamies, gamies, gamies. I'm really hungry. I think I'm gonna eat maybe like a peanut butter sandwich with milk, chocolate milk. Kahi? You guys heard of this? I guess, like, it's a little viral face balm, or like multi-balm. that was my little story time. Let me know if you want more story times of what, because I probably have like a million.